Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Dan from Dan Reviews It All, and today we are testing the Metabo 305 sliding mitre saw. Let's check it out. So they really have thought of everything on this little piece of kit, right? One of the biggest things that you'll notice when you first get it is it's massive. It is humongous. Really heavy. They even give you a support handle there, and it is solid because this thing is huge. I don't know exactly how much it will weigh. I can find that out quite easily on their website, but they've got loads of little things in here. You've got a light on and off, and you've got a laser, which is quite handy. Don't often use it, but it's there. On the back of the fence here, you've got this is rigid, it doesn't move, but you've got the start measurements. So you know this first one, which is the first indication, is 20mm. Let me just pop this up for you so you can have a look. 20mm there, so you know that your measurement starts from there. That's 20mm from the cut line, which is quite handy. You might have to calibrate that now and again, but people often get stuck with this. Here, you see this little tab here? That's how you open it. It's easy just to sort of take the pressure off the spring by putting your hand there, lowering it down, popping that out, and up you go. So I'm just going to adjust the camera so you can see more of it. It is single bevel. You can only bevel one way, but you can turn the sort of measurement of degrees and the angle both ways. So you can do 45 degrees both directions on it. At the very front, just push this back, you've got a tightening bolt which allows you to loosen that up to make this more movable, and you have to press this little thumb trigger down to move it, and then it locks in, so now it won't move. But then you tighten that up and it just makes sure it won't move. So even if you have to go half a percentage, you know, halfway between, say if you want it 20 degrees, you wouldn't want it on 15 or 0 obviously, so you move it to the 20, you've got 22.5 on there, but you just want it just before, you can tighten that up and it won't move anyway, even though it hasn't locked in. So that's really cool. Loads of little things on this. You've got extendable supports to make it even bigger. See that? So if you're doing slightly longer bits of wood, you can obviously clamp onto this to give you a guide, and you've got this flip up little fence here to, you know, your stop guard, so you can measure out how far you want to be, tighten this up so it doesn't move, and then lift your stop guard, and that will give you the same measurement each time. As I said, they've thought of quite a lot when it comes to this. The way to lock in the bevel is at the back here, this little paddle here. So you can adjust it using your degrees here. It goes up to 45, 47 in fact. So let's go to say 35, lock it in, that's not going to move now. It's got a see-through guard, so that's really handy. Most people prefer the see-through guard because you can see where the blade is when you start turning it. It's got a little trigger and it will not move unless you lift that trigger. And the guard goes with it. The guard has a little roller on the bottom there, which allows, if you're cutting quite big bits of wood, then if it's touching it, the guard will push past it slightly and it will roll over the top of it with that guard. Because what happens sometimes, you've got your wood up here, as soon as you start to move it, the guard jams, but it gives you a little bit more leeway because the wheel will roll out over the top of the wood there. You can lock the slide part of the mitre saw, so this won't move now because you obviously lock it all down when it's in transit. There's a little bolt here. Let me get it back up on straight. Little bolt here, that's how you lock the guide. It's got dust extraction at the back. Don't use it because I normally have, if I'm working in the workshop, I have a Hoover attachment stuck to there. The standard Henry Hoover, incidentally, will fit that perfectly. And there's also two, which I've broken one of mine, which, you know, I don't even remember doing it, so maybe those could be a bit more reinforced. They are cable tidy, so you just wrap it around there, and that holds the cable for you when you're traveling. This thing here is a depth adjustment, so you've got up to 100mm there, and what it does is, it's a bit of a strange setup really, you've not seen it before. There's a hole in the little adjustment, and you've got a little Allen key down here hidden away. Just see if I can show you that, just behind here in a little plastic plug. And what you do is you undo this screw, slide it over, or slide it in forwards or backwards to give you sort of like a flat surface, and then it won't go, the little pin as you see, won't go through the hole, so that's going right through, allowing you to do a full depth cut. But obviously if you want to adjust that, and then you've got to move it so that this then stops against that and it won't go any further then. Again, I've never used that, but I imagine if you're doing lots of cuts, that would be really useful if you've got to, maybe if you've got to do half cut halfway through your wood and things like that. But what a monstrous piece of kit. It wasn't the cheapest bit of kit out there. I could have gone a lot cheaper. There was an Erbauer. I could have waited and got that. But FFX just around the corner. Big shout out to those guys. They are quite helpful, and they do stock some stuff now and again, which, you know, last minute stuff. You can just go pay the probably the bit of extra, because they like to stock the premium tools, so you'll never get sort of the real cheap stuff there. But it's worth it. So this is a 305 blade, which is also known as a 12-inch blade. Mainly I bought it to cut through some big wood, mainly sleepers. So sleepers flat. I can't remember if I can get a 200mm sleeper in there. Probably could, but I'd have to hold the guard out the way and then measure that. Now it's over. So you could get away with, at a push, you could get away with maybe 180 cutting depth. So if you had something at 180, you can move the guard out of the way. I don't advise it. You could hold it and then spin your blade. Now that is really dodgy. So I would say use this machine with caution, because it is very unforgiving. It is so fast, so sharp, and it will do damage. If your hand's in the way, it's going to do damage. If your thumb's in the way, it's going to take it off. I regret to say. Here, people often wonder what these are. This is a little plug. You take that out, that has your brushes behind it. So it means that you can, it's not a brushless motor, especially not for £329, but you can take those out and replace the brushes and you're good to go again, as long as the rest of it's working. There's a lot of good quality stuff out there by Metabo. So what we're going to do is, you've seen this, our guest on the show before. This is a 100x100 fence post. You've seen him before because we used him to shoot some nails in from the Makita nail gun video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how nice and how easy it is just to slice through a solid piece of wood like this. So safety is #1 priority. Here we go. Now, I came a bit short there because my slide is touching the wall back there, so I'm going to have to turn it, readjust my blade in there, and finish my cut. There we go. Anyway, you saw how easy that was, and look at the finish on that. So, a little bit of tearing at the very, very end, but this is rough wood anyway, so you'll get that. But that is a smooth, lovely cut surface. Now, the reason I went for this, people are like, use a chainsaw, it's much quicker. Well, I did use a chainsaw. I've got 3, so it's not the fact that I didn't want to use one, but when I do like to mix the rustic look with the professional look. So people like sleepers because they're quite rustic, but if you then put them together really rustic, shall we say rustic, I think it looks quite shabby. The best thing is putting them together with precision, but letting the wood be rustic. So that's why I wanted this, because it gives you a really nice finish, really nice cut there. So, you know, look at that, you wouldn't even know it was cut. Burp. So that's why I got it, and yes, it gets through. It's so easy. Let's do a sort of 45 degree. So let's just loosen my paddle. Got my gate out of the way. See that little slice there? Everybody makes that mistake. So they leave the gate like that and they think, I want to do 45 degrees. So they put it in there. What happens? They start to hit the gate. Right. So as soon as I get them, because I've done it. Actually, it was Dave that done it, but it's been cut. I've done it on other ones. I've seen other people do it. Move it to the diagonal slope. That doesn't overhang too much. You know, it's fine. You've got extra extension. This one's got actually a depth gauge, so it can get your slices all the same. Undo this little thing here, and you've got some extra room. But that is massive. Anyway, Pop that back in, screw it tight, get it on. Let's do a 45 cut. So we've used a laser. So now I know my cut is going into underneath that plastic. So let me just get it right to the edge, dead easy. Probably shouldn't hold your hand this close, but I know I'm out of danger's way really. It doesn't stop it instantly, it's got a bit of a break on there to slow the blade down. Now why didn't that go all the way through? Somebody able to tell me that? You could see that it was a bit big for a diagonal cut because I couldn't get the guard quite past it. But I should be able to handle that, so let's just get him back in there. Why couldn't it go all the way? What was it? Ah, right, so it's the bolt on the other side is hitting. So let me just turn this over for you. Yeah, it's a shame, but I guess you can only do cuts up to 90 on your diet, you know, on your 45 degrees. Live with it. I mean, if you wanted to do it that way, then you could just, I mean, there's always other ways of doing it. So you just turn this to your 45 like that. Turn this on its side like that, and there you go, finish it off that way, not a problem. But doing it with the bevel, this bolt here which holds the disc on, you see it? Holds the disc on, that it was stopping against there. So there you go. What a lovely piece of kit this was. I was so chuffed with it when I got it and could do some proper nice cuts for a change. You know, chainsaw is good. It's so easy to make a mistake or to leave the edge quite rough. So 110mm to the edge of that. But obviously it hits it early when you're going diagonal. So that's, yeah, diagonally that's 140mm. So it was never going to go through it. But there you go. What do you think? These, you know, it's so easy getting through these big bits of wood. Leaves a nice finish on it for you. Much better when you come to doing sort of mitre cuts. You know, if you're doing corners, if you want to do nice corners on your sleepers, you want to do mitred corner. You know, this is way better. It ups the professional game in the quality in the landscaping. But also, obviously, woodworkers use this when they're doing sort of big sort of projects. I really rate it, and I was going to go Makita for drill, but I've seen their Metabo one and it looks pretty good, so I'm tempted, but I don't know about their batteries, so it's a tough one. But tell me what you guys think. Do you like it? What one do you use? Has anybody used the Erbauer? I know George at Metabo Landscaping uses the Erbauer, and he's fairly happy with it, but he says it's nothing special, it's just a basic one. This feels like good quality to me, and you know, these things go up to thousands, so what do you guys think? And there you go, put to the test, cuts through wood like an absolute monster, and leaves a perfect finish. What do you guys think? Have you tried the other ones? The Erbauer? I know the DeWalt's, I'd love to be able to afford one, but they're about £900. You know, £329. I'll put a link in the description on probably eBay is where I'll find it for cheapest. If you want to pick yourself up one, click on the link. It supports the channel. But yeah, I absolutely love this bit of kit, and as I said, it definitely upped the landscaping game. It has, you know, doing borders and doing raised beds and retaining walls. When you can get those cuts butted together really nicely, it adds a sort of professional to the rustic, and that's a really good combination. Not just nailing stuff together and leaving gaps all over the place. That, you know, and then you go, oh, it's a rustic look. That's not the idea. You know, the wood is rustic, but the workmanship should never be rustic. So that's my view on it anyway. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comments box, and I will see you next time.